When planning a trip to Japan, it's important to figure out where you're going to stay. So I want to give you some tips and tricks, as well as some possible options. Now, as a former frequent business traveler, I have earned points and status with different brands like IHG, Holiday Inn, Marriott, so I always like to check those first. However, one of my biggest surprises when I first tried to start traveling Japan is many places are super expensive. For example, to stay in central Tokyo for just a few nights ends up coming out to between $300 and $600 a night. And for many budget-conscious travelers, that is not going to be a very feasible way to travel. Checking other hotels, because you always want to see what kind of comparison you can get. Looking at Marriott, I'm also seeing some interesting prices as well. Now, something you have to do sometimes is convert the exchange rate. So right now it's 2023 fall. Exchange rate is hovering somewhere around 150 yen to a dollar. So when you see a price and you're like, what is that? It's simply a little bit of math of taking that amount, dividing that by the current exchange rate, and that will tell you what the dollar amount per night. So I'm not surprised to see that amount, again, based on what I was seeing on the other site. Now, you might be able to find an option on a discount site like Expedia or cheaphotels.com, but here's a third option that I've been using over the last decade that is one of my absolute favorite and my personal recommendation. There is a hostel brand called K's House, and they have locations all over Japan, including Tokyo, Kyoto, Hiroshima, Mount Fuji, Takayama, Ito, Hakuba, Hokkaido, all kinds of awesome ones. So many people are trying to do that exact kind of trip, their first trip to Japan. I'm going to spend a week in Tokyo, and then I want to take a trip to Kyoto, and then I'd like to go visit Hiroshima, and then maybe I'd like to go to Kanazawa or Hokkaido. And Hokkaido was just recently opened, so that one's brand new. That wasn't there for many of the years I traveled. Now, what does it look like? While they do call themselves a hostel, it's actually a combination. In each city, you will find a collection of fun things. So usually they have a spacious common area, typically with tables and seating areas and reading and books and all kinds of fun stuff. And then the actual rooms vary depending on the type of room you choose. For example, some include private rooms, which is what I stayed in more recently. Some are more traditional styles, like Ito and Takayama have some traditional styles. So the Ito is one of the oldest buildings I've ever stayed in. I really loved it. It had actually onsens and hot spring baths inside private bathrooms. Those were fun. And then others are more modern, but very common Japanese layout. On our recent trip, we actually stayed in a private room at K's House, Tokyo Oasis. So I have stayed at Tokyo Oasis before. I love this location. And it's just a really nice central location to Asakusa and getting around Tokyo. So it's one of my favorites. I'd like to give you a little tour of this location. When we arrived, we got a nice welcome from our host, who was running the front desk. We also paid a visit to Mount Fuji on our trip and had a really good time. And it was really affordable. So compared to the other prices you're seeing over here, I think I spent total for a whole week and a half staying at K's House properties about $600 to $700. And that's, again, starting on, say, Sunday night and then checking out Tuesday night. So the following week. What a great price. Now, I will say we did take and stay at the Tokyo Continental Tokyo Bay our last night of our trip. For that stay, I ended up using my points so I could actually stay for free. So sometimes you get really good points deals. I think I had about 60,000 points. Yeah, 65,000 points. So we stayed here for free. They did charge us 15% service charge, but that was a little less than, I don't know, $20, $30 I think I ended up paying for the one night. And that was really nice. And I recommend at least doing that once. All right, let's take a little tour of K's House, Tokyo Oasis, and then maybe take a look at one of the rooms at K's House, Fuji View. And you'll see why I like these locations so much. is a traditional place to stay. There we go.